Yes, sir.
All are requested to mute their mic. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Uh, Myself, Dr. Gaurisankar Pal, convener of IIC. Today we have our esteemed speaker, Dr. Susmita Bose Sarkar, founder and director, Zensus Solution Private Limited, Management Research, and he is author of many books and many journals. Today, our IIC calendar activities topic is how to plan for startup and legal and ethical step. So, madam, we are very
Yes,
much happy to have you for this session. So,
okay.
kindly you can continue.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So, shall I start?
No issue. You can start now.
Okay. So, students and respected faculty members, good morning, everyone. Hello.
Rupam Bera, mute your mic. Please mute your mic. Okay, ma'am, you can start now. No issue.
Students and respected faculty members, good morning, everyone. Today's topic of discussion is how to plan for a startup, the legal and the ethical steps. These are we are going to discuss. This is a table of contents. Okay. So, in the world of business, startups are the tangible or visible form of idea, embodiment of innovation and entrepreneurship. These fledgling companies, like the companies or the organization that is immature, inexperienced, or underdeveloped, driven by creative ideas and cutting edge technology, have the potential to disrupt markets or can cause radical changes to an existing industry or market due to technological innovation and can achieve remarkable results or success. Starting a business is a thrilling adventure, no doubt about it. But that requires careful planning, dedication,
তোমার
and a
খাতাটা শোনো
willingness to take calculated risk. As a startup founder, you'll need to wear many hats, from innovator to problem solver, and you have to be prepared to adapt to changing circumstances. To start up, this startups is an ecosystem which is dynamic and rapidly evolving space where new ideas and technologies come together to create innovative solutions and opportunities. And above all, entrepreneurship is a journey that requires passion, creativity, and perseverance. However, navigating the complex landscape of legal and ethical consideration is essential for the survival and the prosperity of startups. It's very, very essential for entrepreneurs to understand the legal and ethical aspects of starting and running business. And that is crucial for building a solid foundation and achieving long-term success. As a startup founder, you will need to navigate the challenges of building business from the scratch while also ensuring that your venture is compliant with legal and ethical standards. By understanding the key considerations and opportunities in the startup landscape, you can set your business up for success and achieve your goals. With the right approach, startups can achieve high growth and make a lasting impact on their industries.
Ma'am, 1 minute. Hey, Chandan and all student, mic mute রাখবে তো মাইক অন করে গল্প করছো কেন ম্যাম ইউ ক্যান কন্টিনিউ না Ma'am, you are not audible, ma'am.
Hello.
You now you are audible. Okay,
Okay. So shall I continue?
okay. You can continue.
Yeah. So it's very important to understand how to start business in India. So here is the step-by-step guide. Before you start, what you need to do is check whether you are ready, whether you are ready for the business, whether you are ready for the startups. To succeed as an entrepreneur, you need to determine whether you have the ability and readiness to start and run a business, navigating its uncertainties and complexities to achieve profitability. It is equally important to carefully evaluate the challenges your business may face so you can develop strategies to overcome them. So, first and foremost, what you need to do is you need to, if you have a business idea, you need to first analyze your business idea. Before turning in your business idea into a reality, it's crucial to conduct thorough research and analysis to assess its potential. You need to ask yourself, is there a genuine demand for your product or service? How feasible is it to develop and implement your idea? If you have an idea, that's good, but you need to also check how feasible is that. Means it's to develop that idea and how feasible is to implement your idea. Can your idea generate sufficient revenue to sustain a business? Now, if you have started a business with the idea, but you have to sustain in the business, and to continue the business for the long run, you need to generate revenue. So you need to check whether your idea is good enough to generate revenue. How will you safeguard your intellectual property? Intellectual property means the ideas, whatever is getting created in your mind, the literary or artistic work, design, symbols, logo, name, images, those are used in the business. So how will you safeguard that? You need to understand. Otherwise, if now you are working hard to make a logo, like you are searching Google and everything for a good name of your business and mission and vision statement, everything, and someone might steal you if you don't safeguard your intellectual properties properly. You need to understand and analyze who are going to be your main competitors and how will you differentiate yourself from the competitor. Like then the customers will not go to your competitors, the customers will come to you. So how will you differentiate yourself from the competitor? What strategies will you employ to stay competitive? You need to do research on your business idea, which involves gathering relevant data and information, analyzing market trends and consumer needs, evaluating the feasible and potential of your idea, identifying potential challenges and opportunities. You need to do SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat. That SWOT analysis matrix, and defining your business goals and objectives. By conducting thorough research and analysis, you will be better equipped to refine your business idea, mitigate risk, and create a solid foundation for the success. Now we will go to the step-by-step guide to how to start business in India. First and foremost is business idea. To start a business, you need an idea. What will be your business? So step 1 is business idea. Step 2 is business registration. Step 3 is business funding. Step 4 is tax registration, and step 5 is business launching. After doing step 1 to step 4, finally at the step 5, you are launching your business. Step number 1 is business idea. That is transforming your business idea into reality. A successful business begins with a resourceful idea which can take many forms, such as a detailed business plan, outlining management, marketing, and financial strategies, introducing new products or services that meet market needs, discovering new markets or sources of supply, developing innovative technologies or process, and implementing more efficient organizational structure. Maybe your if you already have an existing structure of organization, you need to implement more efficient organizational structure. The internet can be a valuable resource for sparking innovative ideas. Once you have settled on a concept and developed a solid plan, it's time to embark on your startup journey. Now, how to choose the right business entity? First of all, we need to understand what is business entity. A business entity is a legally recognized organization created to conduct business activities such as sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation, or limited liability company, etc. The first step is deciding on a suitable business entity which will impact funding opportunities and requirements. So you need to select your business entity properly. So because these are going to impact your funding opportunities and requirements, liability and risk management, setup and operational processes. So selecting the right business entity is a crucial decision that will shape the future of your business. Next is business registration. At this stage, naming the business, incorporation and registration of business are done. You have to decide the name of the business. You have to check whether that business name is already existing or not. You have whether you are giving or deciding an unique name, that you will have to check. Then incorporation means your business entity has been now recognized, and then the registration of the business will be done. Now you need to, at this stage, you need to decide the business structure, like whether you go for private limited company or sole proprietorship or partnership, etc. After registration, you will get certificate of incorporation. That is, now your business has an entity. It is not in your mind only. It is now a tangible something in documents, in papers, in now people and structure, everything. You'll get PAN, permanent account number. You'll get TAN, tax deduction account number. GST, goods and services tax. I think you are familiar with this term, GST certificate. You will get MOA, that is Memorandum of Association. You will get AOA, that is the Articles of Association. What is MOA? MOA defines the company's relationship with the outside world, outlining its objectives, scope of activities and powers. Now, scope of activities means, like, now you are deciding, you are thinking of starting an IT business, IT consultancy or whatever, IT business. Now you have done your MOA according to that. After 1 year or 6 months, now you are thinking of manufacturing something. Like you want to manufacture car batteries. Suppose you cannot do that. That is illegal. Then again you have to amend your MOA. Whatever is written or declared in MOA as a purview or scope of your business, you have to confine yourself within that limit. You cannot go beyond that. If most of the cases, what happens is when you start a business, that time you cannot think of so many things, or after launching the business, then you think of like, okay, I can do this, I can do that, I can try that one also, someone else is doing very good in this business, I can try that also. So many ideas start coming. Then you'll have to, if you want to try something else which is not declared in the MOA, then you have to again go for, you have to go talk to a talk to a legal consultant who other consultant on this matter. You'll have to do, you have to amend the MOA. Then you will have to put those businesses, new business in the business ideas in the MOA, and then you can do it. Then it is legal. Otherwise, it is illegal. Next comes AOA, or Articles of Association. This focus on the company's internal management or administration, detailing rules, regulations for its operations, who will be the directors, what will be the share of their percentage of their share, etc. Step 3 is the business funding. Now you want to start a business. The first and foremost thing is idea, and then comes from where will I get the money. If your business is not very big, like the first and most of the people go for bootstrapping. We initially thinks of bootstrapping. What is bootstrapping? It is commonly known as self-financing. Like if your initial requirement is not that big, it's small and handy, and you can use your personal savings and resources to meet your requirements. And this is the best thing, because you are not taking loans from bank, you're not taking loans from anybody else. If you are going to take loans from other people, then they will ask for share in your business. There's so many complexities, so many unwanted things might happen. So it is best to go for bootstrapping if you can fund your business initially from your own savings or own assets. Then comes crowdfunding. Many organizations reach out to common people for funding startups and small businesses. Like you have heard about Shark Tanks, there you can go with your business ideas. There are people who are already expert in the market, and they analyze your business, and then they decide whether you can get some investors. That kind of thing. So this method is known as crowdfunding. And then comes venture capital. This is also another method that provides expertise, mentorship. Like when you are running a business, initially when you are startups, you are a new person, novice almost in this new journey. So there are a lot of things you need to know, you need to understand. There you need mentor, you need a guide who will guide you for everything. So this venture capital is another method that provides that expertise and mentorship, and also evaluate the business from the feasibility and sustainability point of view. Step 4 is the tax registration. After you are done with the incorporation of the business entity, you'll have to open a bank account. There's a current account. It's not savings account. It's a current account for the business. And in the name of the business, that bank account will be opened in the name of the business. And the next step is the register for the taxation, where one can benefit from the tax exemption for a period of 3 years under the Startup India scheme by the Indian government. And finally, comes the business launching. With all these formalities that we have just now discussed, finally we are now ready to launch the business. This involves mobilizing essential resources, complying with legal formalities, and kick-starting operations. The key steps include securing funding, talent, and infrastructure. Funding means now you have money. Talent means you have people, the people suitable for the business, and the infrastructure, whether it's office or manufacturing unit, whatever your business structure is like. Obtaining necessary licenses and permits, the legal documents, whether you need to check whether you're ready with all the legal documents, whether all the licenses, permits, and everything. Initiating production and supply chain management, where how it will where the things will be get produced, from where it will go to the suppliers, from the suppliers how it will go to the customers. This is totally the supply chain management. You have to decide that also. And launching, it's a relation between the product producer and the customer, that you will have to decide how that will happen. And launching sales promotion campaign to reach target audience. So it is not enough to launch a business and start the business. You will have to let the customers know about your business. Customers, when customers will know about your business, then only they will come to you for your product. So you will have to do enough marketing and campaigning, sales promotion, etc., to reach your target audience. You have to decide your target audience also, whom you are targeting. By taking these steps, you will set your business up for success in the market. Now we will discuss about business ethics. Business ethics means what? It is balancing profitability and responsibility in business. While the primary goal of a startup is to generate profits, it's very, very essential to do so without compromising ethics. This means complying with laws and regulations, fulfilling social responsibilities towards the community and environment, prioritizing customer satisfaction and well-being, and fostering a positive and respectful company culture. By embracing ethical practices, startup can build trust, reputation, and long-term success. You have duties towards your customers. You have to prioritize the customer satisfaction. Startup have a crucial responsibility towards their customer, which includes providing products or services that meet customer needs and expectation. When customer is paying money for the product, they are expecting a particular product or particular service. They have some standard in their mind, about some expectations in their mind about the product. So you will have to, if you have promised the customer that okay, we are going to provide this, then you have to keep your promise. You have to provide exactly that product or service according customers expectation. You have been transparent and honest in all interactions. This is very important. Whether your business is a startup, whether it is growing, whether after from startup now it has become a big business, in every step you'll have to be transparent and honest in all interactions. Then only you are going to sustain for long. The people who take dishonest route, they will not sustain for long. That is the core ethics or core value of a business. Encouraging and acting on customers' feedback to improve offerings. Now, suppose you have provided a service or product. Now, customer is not uh, fully satisfied or happy with the product or service, or they want some modifications or changes. You will have to do that market survey every time. Like you have to have a R&D team who will do this market research, what customer is expecting, what customers want, because you have to your business will run by the customers. Without customers you cannot run your business. So you have to always satisfy customers need. You have to keep customers priority at the customers preference at the top of your priority list. You will have to get the feedback. Your R&D team will give, like at the beginning you cannot, it's understood that you cannot afford a big R&D team. You can do that R&D of your own. You can do market research. You can go through the journals, business magazines, and you can try to understand, or you can talk to people, interact with people. You can then understand that what they are expecting, what are their needs, or what kind of service they are habituated with, or they are getting from your competitors. You need these knowledges. And offering reliable after sales support and assistance, this is very important. Again, like most of the case, what happens is, most of the businesses, I can say from my own experiences also, that before sales they make big promises. We will do that, this we will do that, this and that, so many promises. By hook or crook, they just want to sell their product. The once the product is sold, the customers pay the money, then they don't know the customers anymore. Like if after 1 month or 6 months the customers come with the problems, or some technological error or something like that, then they behave weirdly with the customer. They forget that if they don't then they don't take care of the customers problem. They don't offer the after sales support and assistance, then that customer will not come back to that seller, that business. And by word of mouth, some many more customers will reject your business, because they will now scared to come to your business, because now they know that your after sales support and assistance is poor, so you cannot afford to do that. The effort that will give for the sales of your product, the equal amount of effort you need to give for your after sales support and assistance. So, by prioritizing customer satisfaction, startups can build loyalty, drive growth, and establish a strong reputation in the market. Happy customers are the key to a startup's long term success. Next comes the duties towards the employees, the people of your organization. You'll have to expert in, or you'll have to try to learn to nurture uh, the founder employee relationships. You'll have to have a good uh, relationship with your good camaraderie with your people who are helping you to run your company or organization, because employees are the backbone of any startup and their contributions are vital to its growth and success. To foster a positive and productive work environment, startups should respect employees' rights and dignity, both legally and ethically, provide fair treatment, timely compensation, and all kind of benefits. Employers should establish a robust system for addressing employee grievances. Like when many people from many various background are coming to your organization to work for you, they might have various problems. They might face various problems. Might have various grievances. You'll have to listen to them patiently, and genuinely you need to try to address them. You need to try to remove them, so that they can uh, dedicate to your, actually they are working for your organization. So if they are facing a problem, you need to remove that problem, so that they can focus on their work for your organization more happily. And the employer need to implement strategies to motivate and engage employees, promoting a culture of growth and development. Otherwise, if you don't keep the employees motivated, then they will leave your company. They will go to some other company. So you have to keep them motivated. By valuing and supporting their employees, startup can build a loyal and high performing team, driving innovation and long term success. Then comes the duties towards the environment. Because every organization, whether it's startup or well-established organization, everyone has the responsibility towards the environment. So startups is not exception. Startups have a crucial role to play in protecting the environment, and it's essential to prioritize sustainability in their operations. To fulfill their environmental duties, startups should obtain all necessary legal certificates, permission and permits from the government bodies, like where they can throw the wastes or what they will do with the wastes, all these things, e-waste, all these things, they need permission from the government and the legal certificates. Conduct environmental impact assessments to identify potential risks and opportunities. You need to implement sustainable practices and technologies to minimize waste, reduce emissions, carbon emission, and conserve natural resources. Like if you are trying to make a factory and you cannot cut the trees or you cannot damage environment. Avoid activities that harm the environment, such as pollution, deforestation, just now I've mentioned, or habitat distractions. Continuously, you'll have to monitor and improve the environmental performance of the organization. By prioritizing environmental responsibility, startups can reduce their ecological footprints. What is ecological footprints? That measure how fast we consume resources and generate waste compared to how fast nature can absorb our waste and generate resources. Startup can enhance their reputation and brand value. There will be a good words about the startup in the market. They will comply with regulatory requirements, and thus they will contribute to a healthier and more sustainable future. By embracing environmental sustainability, startups can create long-term value for both their business and the planet. Next comes the duties towards the community. Startups have the responsibility to positively impact the community they operate in. This includes being mindful of cultural and religious sentiments, especially in advertising and marketing campaign. Investing in social causes that benefits the community, such as education, food security, and environmental conservation. Implementing practices that promote social welfare and community development, and they need to engage themselves in CSR or corporate social responsibility initiatives that contribute to the betterment of society. They can build trust and credibility with their audience or customers, enhance their reputation, contribute to the well-being of society, and foster a positive and supporting community around their business. So thus they can make a lasting impact on the community and can drive long-term success for the organization. Next comes the issues with respect to the labor laws or the compliances with labor laws. Startups must prioritize compliance with labor laws to ensure a fair and safe work environment. Key areas to focus on include working hours. The startup need to adhere to regulations regarding working hours, breaks, and overtime to prevent employee burnout and ensure productivity. Next is sexual harassment. implementing policies and procedures to prevent and address sexual harassment at the workplace, ensuring a safe and respectful environment for all employees. Next comes payment of wages, ensuring timely and accurate payment of wages, including compliance with minimum wage requirements and deduction. Then the payment of bonus, complying with laws related to bonus payments, including eligibility, calculations, and payment timelines. And they will have to adhere to other labor laws, like familiarizing yourself with the laws related to employee benefits, leave policies, and the termination procedures. So by complying these labor laws, startup can avoid legal liabilities and reputational damage, foster a positive and productive work environment, attract and retain top talents, enhance employee satisfaction and engagement. Staying informed about labor laws and regulations can help startups to build a strong foundation for growth and success. Next comes the use of deceptive or inappropriate marks. Authenticity in certification marks. Startups must ensure authenticity and transparency in their use of certification marks. This includes obtaining necessary certification. Before using certification marks, startups must obtain the required certificates from competent authorities. They should avoid misinterpretation. They should not misinterpret or falsely claim certification for their product or services. They should be compliant with laws. Misuse of certification marks can lead to severe consequences, including imprisonment for up to 3 years, fines, or both. And the other consequences can be use of deceptive or inappropriate marks can result in legal action. Startups may face lawsuits and penalties for violating certification mark laws. They might have reputational damage, can harm a startup's reputation and erode customers' trust, and loss of business. Startups may lose business opportunities and revenue due to non-compliance. So, best practice is to avoid these consequences. To avoid these consequences, startups should verify certification requirements. They should ensure that they understand the certification process and requirements. They should obtain necessary certification, like get certified by competent authorities before using certification marks, and use marks correctly. They should use certification marks in accordance with the certification body's guidelines. And by prioritizing authenticity and compliance, startups can build trust with customers and maintain a strong reputation in the market. So, what is the means why organizations should prioritize ethics? There is a long-term benefits of prioritizing ethics: improve brand reputation, increase customer loyalty, sustainable business growth. Some long-term benefits of prioritizing ethics in business are enhanced reputation. Ethical practices foster a positive reputation, building trust with customers and investors and partners. Increased customer loyalty. Customers are more likely to remain loyal to business that are demonstrated who have demonstrated ethical behavior. Improved employee morale. Ethical workplaces tend to have higher employee satisfaction, engagement, and retention. Reduce risk. Prioritizing ethics can mitigate risks, associated with legal issues, fines, and reputational damage. Better decision making, ethical consideration can guide decision making, leading to more informed and responsible choices. Long-term sustainability, business that prioritize ethics are more likely to achieve long-term sustainability and success. And positive impact on society, ethical businesses can contribute to the betterment of society, fostering a positive social impact. So by prioritizing ethics, business can create a strong foundation for long-term success and make a positive impact on stakeholders and society. Uh, the prioritizing ethics help building a strong brand reputation through ethics. In today's conscious consumer landscape, prioritizing ethics and social responsibility is crucial for building a positive brand reputation. By establishing an ethical culture from the starting, startups can gain customer trust. Consumers are more likely to support businesses that share their values and demonstrate a commitment to ethics and social responsibility. Attract socially responsible investors. Investors increasingly consider environmental, social, and governance, that is ECG factors, when making investment decisions. Enhance brand differentiation. A strong ethical reputation can differentiate a startup from competitors and establish a unique market position. Foster brand loyalty. Customers are more likely to remain loyal to business that prioritize ethics and social responsibility. And support long-term success. A positive brand reputation built on ethics can drive long-term success and sustainability. So, by prioritizing ethics and social responsibility, startups can create a strong foundation for their brand reputation, driving customer loyalty, investors' confidence, and long term success. When customers perceive a company as ethical and responsible, they are more likely to develop a strong sense of loyalty, and this loyalty can manifest in various ways, including repeat business, positive word of mouth, like satisfied customers become brand ambassador. Then don't have to go for the campaigning. The satisfied customers will do that campaigning for you. Become the brand ambassadors, recommending the company to friends, family, and online communities, and they will repeat the business. Customers will continue doing business with that company. Emotional connection. Customers develop an emotional connection with companies that demonstrate a genuine commitment to ethics and social responsibility. And thus, the business can differentiate themselves. They can stand out in a competitive market by demonstrating a commitment to ethics and social responsibility. They can build trust, which is going to sustain for long, and thus they will drive business growth. So, by prioritizing ethics, business can create a loyal customer base that drives long term success. Next, we'll discuss legal issues in entrepreneurship. So, starting a new business venture is an exciting endeavor, no doubt about it. But it is very essential to give due consideration to the legal aspects to ensure a solid foundation for the startup. Here we'll explore the key legal considerations that every entrepreneur should be aware of when embarking on their startup journey. These are the checklists. First is the choosing right business structure, like whether it is private limited companies, limited liability partnership, partnership firms, or sole properties. Next is name your business. Third is incorporation and registration. Fourth is share capital and ownership. And fifth is compliance with taxation and regulatory norms, that is tax exemption, annual return and tax returns, GST, service tax, insurance policies, compliance with SEBI regulations, filing and reporting requirements, intellectual property protection and non-disclosure agreements, legal documentation and agreements, board of directors and management structure, funding and investor agreements, startup India recognition and benefits, and last but not the least, exit strategy and long-term planning. So first is choosing the right business structure. Many startups face problems in determining what is an ideal business structure for their startups. And because the business structure vary from business to business. One business structure that is good for one business might not be good for the other kind of business. So the startup may be in the form of sole proprietorship, partnership, private limited, or LLP. What is sole proprietorship? It's a form of business organization where a single individual owns, manages, and controls the business. This is one of the simplest forms of business entities, and this structure is ideal for those who like to have total control over their business. And the best thing about this structure is that the proprietor enjoys all the profits alone. This structure is very popular because of its easier taxation structure, as the tax amount is decided on the basis of the revenue earned by the proprietor. In India, unlike other business structures, a sole proprietorship business structure is not taxed as a separate legal entity. It is taxed from the personal income of the proprietor. The proprietors file their tax as a part of their individual tax returns. The tax rate for a sole proprietor's business earning less than or equal to 2,50,000 is 0. 5% tax when its income is more than 2,50,000, and when income is 5 lakhs and below 10 lakhs, then the taxation rate is 20%, and when the income exceeds 10 lakhs, then it is 30%. Apart from advantages, there are some disadvantages also. The liability of a sole proprietor is unlimited, which means in case of the proprietor is unable to pay the debts or loans of the business, then his personal assets could be sold to meet the needs. As in sole proprietor's business, the assets are not classified as private assets or personal assets. All are included in the business. So if the proprietor cannot pay the loans, then his personal assets will be taken by the authorities, taken away by the authorities. And one of the most important disadvantage of this structure is that the capacity to raise capital is very limited. Investors generally don't like to invest in the sole proprietorship business. Then comes the partnership. This is a form of business where at least two individuals or partners come together to carry on a business with a common goal or making profit. The regulations governing partnerships are primarily outlined in the Indian Partnership Act 1932. It's a flexible and common form of business structure in India, particularly for small and medium-sized enterprises. The taxation structure in the partnership firm is quite similar to that of the proprietorship firm that we have just discussed. The main disadvantage of this structure is that the profit is shared among several partners, and there are several issues like conflicts in ideas or different partners. Then comes private limited company. A business structure governed by the Companies Act 2013. It is a popular choice looking for a corporate structure with limited liability. Corporate. Then this is a private limited company. The characteristics of a private limited company in India are as follows. Shareholders of a private limited company are only liable to the extent of their shareholding. This means that their assets are not at risk in case of financial losses incurred by the company. A private limited company is a separate legal entity from its owners. It has its legal identity and can own a property. So private limited entity of private limited company is separate from its owners. A private limited company must have have a minimum of 2 shareholders and a maximum of 200 shareholders. It must have a minimum of 2 directors. It is mandatory for at least one director to be an Indian citizen. The name of the private limited company must end with words private limited, means whatever is the name, and then the name XYZ, the name, then XYZ private limited. It should always end with private limited. And it must have a minimum paid up capital of rupees 1 lakh or a higher amount as prescribed. It should comply with various legal and regulatory requirements such as maintaining proper books of accounts, holding annual general meetings, filing annual returns, etc. So the legal complexities are more in private limited company, but the advantage is investors are always willing to invest in private limited company. And then comes the limited liability partnership. A limited liability partnership is incorporated under the Limited Liability Partnership Act 2009. As opposed to partnership firms, partners in an LLP are not burdened with unlimited liabilities caused by the business. Their responsibility towards losses or debts is limited to investments made by them. No partners is liable on account of the independent actions of other partners. Thus, individual partners are safe and shielded from joint liabilities upon commission of another partner's misconduct. An LLP can be started with no minimum amount of capital contribution. It is an easy process to start an LLP as compared to a private limited company along with lesser legal requirements. There can be 2 or more partners in this form of legal structure. The cost of registration is lesser as compared to a private limited company or a public limited company. LLPs are obliged to submit only 2 statements, that is annual return statement and statements of accounts, and therefore the compliance requirements are comparatively less than in limited liability partnership than private limited companies. Then next comes the naming the business. The startup's names must be unique and must not in violation with of any trademarks. One need to check with the government agency if the name is available before getting it registered. Company names can be easily checked online at the website of Ministry of Corporation Affairs, MCA, Government of India. If you have decided any name for your organization, you please go to this website, Ministry of Corporation Affairs, Government of India, and then check whether someone else has already used that name or not used, that name is available or not. And the procedure to check whether name is available for a company in India is go to MCA website, click on the name availability link under the services tab. Next is incorporation and registration. A company comes into existence once it has been correctly incorporated under the provisions of the Companies Act 2013 or any earlier Companies Act that may apply. This initial step of incorporation is crucial for any company before it can engage in business transaction, And during the incorporation process, several fundamental decisions need to be made, including whether the company will be classified as a private or public limited, defining the company's objectives, determining the initial capital investment, and addressing various other important matters. Section 7 of the Companies Act 2013 outlines the essential documentation required for the incorporation of a company. These documents need to be submitted to the registrar of companies, who will then conduct an inquiry to ensure that all the necessary paperwork has been correctly filed. Upon the registrar's satisfaction with the compliance of these requirements, they proceed to retain the register the company's memorandum of association, that is MOA, that we have learned uh, at the beginning, along with other pertinent documents. Subsequently, the Register of Companies issues a certificate of incorporation, and that is the official birth certificate of the company. So, and the date written there in the certificate of incorporation, that is the birth date of your company. In addition to this certificate, the registrar also assigns a corporate identity number, that is CIN, which gives the company the status of a distinct legal entity. So now, after getting the certificate of incorporation and CIN, now your company has got a status of distinct legal entity. Next comes share capital and ownership. In the case of private limited companies, the ownership is divided into shares. These shares represents the ownership interest of individuals or entities in the company. The authorized share capital fee and the issuance of equity share capital need to be accurately defined and adhered to, as these aspects affect ownership and control. In addition, startups must also comply with the minimum alternate tax or MAT. What is MAT or minimum alternate tax? It's a provision in direct tax law to limit tax exemption availed by companies so that they pay at least a minimum amount of corporate tax to the government. And the key reason for introduction of MAT is to ensure minimum levels of taxation for all the domestic and companies, domestic and foreign companies who are working or running business in India. The next is compliance with taxation and regulatory norms. No, we are sorry, continuing. Now, next is compliance with taxation and regulatory norms. The Indian government, under the Startup India initiative, offers tax exemption for eligible startups for a certain period. Understanding the eligibility criteria and availing these exemptions can significantly ease the financial burden, like annual returns and tax returns. Regular filing of annual returns with the MCA and income tax returns with the income tax department is mandatory for all the business structures. Adhering to this compliance is ensuring that the startup maintains its legal status and avails necessary benefits. If the organization fails to do this, then his legal status might be snatched away, and the benefits that it is availing might be snatched away by the relevant authorities. Then comes the GST. If the startup's turnover crosses the prescribed threshold, registering for GST is obligatory. Proper GST compliance is vital to avoid penalties. Service tax. For business providing services, adherence to service tax regulations is essential. The tax must be collected and remitted to the government within the stipulated time period. Next is insurance policies. Startups should consider obtaining insurance coverage, including professional liability insurance and omissions insurance. These policies protect against potential legal claims arising from errors or omissions in providing services. Compliance with SEBI regulations. SEBI means Securities and Exchange Board of India. If the startup plans to go public and list on the stock exchange and release IPO, it must comply with the securities SEBI regulations. This involves drafting an offer document, prospectus, and information documents, and adhering to reporting requirements. And then filing and reporting requirements. Startups must comply with various reporting requirements as per the Companies Act and other applicable laws. Regular filing with the MC and other regulatory bodies are essential to maintain active status. Then comes the intellectual property protection and non-disclosure agreements. Safeguarding one's intellectual property is crucial for preventing others from using, copying, or profiting from the startup's innovative ideas, inventions, or brand equity. Trademarks. It is a form of IP that provides protection to distinctive signs, symbols, names, and logos used by the business to distinguish their goods or services from those of others. Trademark protection plays a crucial role in building brand equity and preventing unauthorized use of distinctive marks, and businesses are encouraged to register their trademarks to enjoy the full benefits and protection provided under the Indian trademark laws. Then comes patents. It grants exclusive rights to the inventor for a limited period, preventing others from making and using or selling or importing the patented inventions without the inventors' permission. Then comes copyrights. It is granted to the creators of original works of authorship. It fosters the development of literature, art, music, and other forms of creative expression. Next is trade secret. It is important for the business in India to take proactive measures to protect their trade secrets, such as formulas, recipes, client records, including implementing robust confidentiality policies, conducting employee training on the importance of trade secret protection, and carefully drafting contracts and agreements that clearly define and protect confidential information. Next is legal documentation and agreements. Startups require various legal documents including shareholder agreement, operating agreement, and partnership deeds. These documents define the role, responsibilities and relationship between stakeholders and provide clarity during dispute or challenges. And accordingly, it is important for the startup to understand the need for these agreements and ensure that they are properly drafted. Because if the business is running smoothly, then sometimes you might not feel the need of these papers, these documents. But if there is, especially agreements, legal documents is always needed, are always needed, but agreements, proper agreements is very important, because if there is any dispute between the partners, if there is any conflict regarding the share of profits, etc., then this properly defined, well crafted agreements will be there to solve the to resolve that disputes or conflict. Then they can take the reference of the the terms and the regulations, the rules and regulations that mentioned in the terms and conditions that are mentioned in the agreements. And next comes the board of directors and management structure. Private limited companies are required to have a board of directors. This board oversees the company's operations and strategic decisions. Initially, like when the startups, if you think of opening a private limited company, and if you hear these big names, board of directors, on all these things. And you might get scared that, okay, how can I afford uh, these board of directors and all that. So there are legal consultants, legal companies who help doing this. They take the charge uh, in against money. They do all these things. So the startups, when they don't cannot afford this board of directors and they don't have so many people, then they can consult this startup consult. There are startup consultants, legal consultants, and they guide the startup owner what they'll have to do. Based on that, based on their suggestion, the startup owner can do stuff accordingly. Uh, this board oversees the company's operation and strategic decisions. Define the roles and responsibilities of director is crucial for effective governance. And each startup must establish a management structure that appoints individuals to carry out day-to-day operations and sets up reporting lines between various divisions. At the beginning, when you are just one employee or two employees, then you'll have to do all these things of your own. Gradually, when your business will grow, will earn revenues, they will earn more revenues. You'll be able to afford more people, and then initially you'll have to manage you'll have to take care of these day-to-day operations, and you have to make the reports and all these things. But gradually, you can appoint people who will look after this, maybe CA or legal consultants. Next comes funding and investor agreements. For startups seeking funding and investor agreements outline the terms of investment, ownership stakes, and exit options. These agreements protect both the startup and the investors, ensuring transparency and accountability. In short, startups should carefully review all investor related documents and consult with a lawyer to determine the legality of these agreements. Additionally, they should ensure that they are compliant with applicable laws related to fundraising activities such as the Companies Act 2013 and SEBI Regulations 2018. Next is Startup India recognition and benefits. Startups meeting the eligibility criteria can obtain recognition from the Startup India initiatives. There are so many government initiatives for the startups. The government actually want to help the founders of the startup, because they want more startups to come up. And this recognition provides various benefits, like including tax exemptions, especially for women, faster patent processing, and access to government schemes. Furthermore, recognized startups may also receive funding from venture capitalists or the government. Next comes exit strategy and long-term planning. While startup founders often focus on growth, having an exit strategy is also equally important. Exit strategy, not like when you hear exit strategy, it might demotivate you that what exit strategy, that means I'm going to shut the my startup. It has not it has not got enough time to become successful, and to be talking about exit strategy. No, exit strategy means there are so many things, like you can whether through mergers, you can merge with other company, acquisition, initial public offerings, that is IPOs. A well-defined exit plan ensures a smooth transition and wealth creation. There are so many, like we hear the incidents that the startup makes a good business, good fortune, then they become well established, then they sell their startup for in exchange of million or billion dollars. So that is also this. So a well established startup can help in wealth creation also. In addition, startups should plan for the long term by preparing projections and strategies to manage future growth. So you have to have a long-term plan. Like, okay, now you are a startup. Now you have just started, but you have to have a mission and vision. Mission means day to day what you are doing, and vision means what image you are having for your startup in next 5 years, what it is going to do, in how much it is going to achieve in next 5 years. You should have a proper planning, proper ideas. Then only you can grow. If you don't know the route, then you will be lost after some time. So having a proper route, having a proper idea about how it is going to grow is very important. Investing in resources such as market research, financial planning, and legal advice can help startups identify potential regulatory risks, maximize returns, and ensure compliance with applicable laws. So, we can conclude this point by navigating a legal landscape is a critical aspect of establishing a startup in India. While the process may seem daunting, um, may seem it's a mammoth task, but seeking legal expertise and adhering to the required formalities are essential steps towards building a successful, legally compliant business. By understanding and fulfilling these legal obligations, startup can operate with confidence, attract potential investors, and achieve sustained growth. So it is advisable to have proper advice and advice from the proper people and guidance regarding the legal compliances before starting a startup. So reasons why legal compliance is important for every startup at every stage, because it lays a strong foundation for the startup. So this is a very important consideration. Key consideration for the startup should be the legal aspects or legal stuffs. Launching a new business venture is an exhilarating experience, but it's crucial to prioritize legal consideration to ensure a solid foundation for your startup. By understanding and addressing key legal aspects, entrepreneurs can mitigate risk, they can reduce risks, identify and mitigate potential risks, protecting their business from costly disputes, fines, and reputational damage. They can establish credibility, they can demonstrate professionalism and credibility to investors, customers, and partners by having a robust legal framework in place. They can ensure compliance with relevant laws and regulations, avoiding costly penalties and reputational damage. They can safeguard their intellectual property, including trademarks, copyrights, and patents, and they can foster a strong governance structure, establish a clear governance structure defining roles and responsibilities and decision making processes. So now we can summarize as some essential legal considerations for startup are business structure, that is the choosing the right business structure, contracts and agreements, drafting and negotiating contracts, including employment contracts, partnership agreements, and customer contracts, intellectual property protection, compliance with laws and regulations, ensuring compliance with relevant laws and regulations such as tax laws, employment laws, industry specific regulations, and data protection and privacy. Um, they need to implement data protection and privacy policies to safeguard customer and employee data. So by prioritizing these key legal considerations, startup can establish a strong foundation for success, mitigate risks, and ensure long-term sustainability and growth. Now, it's very important to understand, to successfully run a startup, you need to understand the challenges for the startup and their solutions. So, when you are preparing yourself for the success, navigating the challenges is very important. Launching your own business can be a thrilling adventure, but it's essential to anticipate and prepare for the risks that comes with it. By understanding the potential obstacles and knowing how to overcome them, we'll be better equipped to mitigate risks, make informed decisions, build resilience, capitalize on opportunities. So, if you know the challenges or the obstacles that you are going to, if you are well informed beforehand, then what are the benefits that it can reduce the potential risks, reduce the likelihood of costly mistakes and setbacks, which might save your money. Make informed decisions leveraging your knowledge and experience to drive business growth and success. Develop the resilience and adaptability needed to navigate the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, and capitalize on opportunities, seize opportunities and stay ahead of the competitors by being prepared for the challenges that arise. So by being proactive and prepared, so will give your business the best chance of success and set yourself up for a rewarding and fulfilling entrepreneurial journey. First, we will discuss about leadership. As you start, as your startup grows and you build a team, your employees will look to you for strong leadership. You, and as a strong leader, you need to have a, how will you become a strong leader, a good leader? You need to have a clear vision. You need to have a proper definition of of everything around, and communicate a clear mission and vision for your business. You have to ensure effective communication. You have to ensure employees understand their objectives, company goals, their job, and the direction. You have to be employee. You need to work on employee alignment. That is, get everyone on board with the business's direction and goals. And you'll have to work on motivation and well-being. You have to keep your staff, your employees motivated, and you'll have to prioritize their well-being. If your employee are not in proper mental state, if they feel exploited, then they will not work for you. So you have to keep them motivated always and have to prioritize their well-being, their interest. Then only your employees who are actually, because without competent employees, you cannot run your startup. You may be a great leader, you may have money, you may have fund, you may have location, may have business structure, what not. But if you don't have proper human resource, that is why it's called the most crucial resource of a business is human resource. So you have to keep your human resource. You have to take care of their well-being, and you have to keep your human resource always motivated. They should feel that the profit of this business is their own profit. They should feel that way. Then only they will work for your company. So, and by following these principles, you will provide strong leadership. They will respect you. Your employees will look up to you as a strong leader, and set your startup for success. Next challenge comes from the capital of funding. Limited access to capital is a common hurdle for many small businesses. To navigate this challenge, consider the following strategies: freelancing and flexible staffing. Hire freelancers. Like initially, if you cannot uh, afford uh, experienced, skilled employee, then you can go for freelancers because you don't want to compromise with the expertise of the employee when you are running a business. But at the same time, you cannot afford also the well experienced, well expertise, means expert employee. So there are employees who can work on the money basis. Like if they are doing a project and they are taking money for particularly that project, they are not your regular employee. They are not taking monthly salaries. They take money on project basis. So thus you can or you can take part-time staff to manage costs during the early stages of your business. Then you can go for bootstrapping and prioritize. Bootstrap your business by prioritizing essential expenses and minimizing the non-essential costs. Like initially, you can think of not taking loans. I think that is the best thing, not taking loans, because at the beginning you are already struggling to establish your business, and then if you have the burden of loans, banks are sending letters if you cannot pay the EMIs or loans on the right time. So that becomes extra burden, extra headache. So as much as you can bootstrap or if self-finance your business, that's the best thing. And for that, you can prioritize your expenses. You do the cost cutting for those things which are not that essential, not that mandatory, and you can focus on, or you can spend money on the things which is absolutely necessary, without which the business cannot run. So during the initial days, you can you can prioritize expenses. Then you can explore the funding options. Research and explore various funding options such as loans, grants, investors, or crowdfunding. And then it's very important to make a financial plan. Develop a comprehensive financial plan including budgeting, forecasting, and cash flow management. So by being resourceful and adaptable, you can overcome funding challenges and set your business up for success. Next is, now you have started a business, but how your business will run? Who will run your, means how the revenue will get generated? It is by the customers. So attracting and retaining clients or customers can be a significant challenge for new businesses, especially with limited budgets. However, this can also be an opportunity to stand out by offering quality work at competitive price. Focus on delivering high quality work at affordable price, making your business an attractive option for clients looking for value. So you can turn this challenge into an opportunity by building strong relationship. You build a strong relationship with your customers by providing excellent customer service, post sales are excellent post sale service, responding to their needs and exceeding their expectations. You can be very good at customer service, so that by word of mouth you can get more customers. Leveraging digital marketing, utilize digital markets. Now there is so many social media digital marketing. I don't need to explain you regarding digital marketing channels. There is so many. So use social media, use content marketing to reach a wider audience without breaking the bank. And then showcasing your unique value proposition, how you are different from others. Show that to your customers. Highlight what sets your business apart from larger, more expensive competitors and demonstrate how your business can provide unique benefits to clients. By focusing on quality relationships and effective marketing, you can attract and retain clients even on a limited budget. The crucial challenges come from competitors. Competition is inevitable in any market, and startups often face competitions from established players. To succeed, focus on differentiation, develop a unique value proposition that sets your product or service apart from the competitors. Uh, Go for continuous improvement, constantly innovate and improve your product or service to stay ahead of the competition. Do effective online marketing, leveraging online marketing strategies to increase visibility, reach your target audience, and build your brand. Persistence and adaptability. Stay committed to your goals, adapt to changing market conditions, and be willing to pivot when necessary. So you have to adjust yourself according to the structure or trend of the market. You cannot hold on to your own principles or own business strategies uh, for infinite period of time. You have to change yourself, change your strategies based on the market trends, based on what your competitors are doing, based on what product your competitors are launching, based on the customers' behavior. So, by differentiating your product, continuously improving and effectively marketing your business, you can carve out a niche for yourself and thrive in a competitive market. Then, maintaining legal compliance is a challenge. Maintaining legal compliance can be a complex and ongoing challenge for the business. To ensure you are meeting all necessary requirements, consider seeking professional advice. You can consult with legal experts such as chartered accountants or lawyers to ensure that you are meeting all the legal obligations. You need to stay up to date with regulations. Regularly, you need to review and update your knowledge of relevant laws and regulations affecting your business. Implementing compliances procedures, establish procedures and protocols to ensure ongoing compliances such as regular audits and risk assessments, and identify and mitigate the potential risks associated with non-compliance, protecting your business from legal and financial consequence. So, by prioritizing legal compliances and seeking expert advice, you can minimize risks and ensure your business operates with the bounds of the laws. Next comes the data privacy and security, protecting data privacy and security. Data privacy and security is a critical challenge for business. To ensure you are protecting sensitive data, consider seeking expert advice. You can consult with IT experts to implement robust security measures and ensure compliance with data protection regulations. You can implement security protocols for data handling, storage, and transmission, and ensure employee understand. And you need to ensure that your employees understand their roles in maintaining data security. You need to stay up to date with the threats. Regularly update your security system and softwares to protect against emerging threats and vulnerabilities. And you need to train your employees. You need to educate your employees on data privacy and security to prevent human error and ensure a culture of security. Then comes the demand, that is also market. Understanding market demand is crucial for startup success. To ensure your product or service meets a genuine need and focus on conducting market research. Identify your target markets. You need to determine the size and characteristics of your target market, whether it's rural market or urban market, uh, to assess the potential for growth. And you need to always analyze, you need to always collect feedbacks from the customers to refine your product or service, and to ensure, you have to ensure it meets their needs. And you have to uh, always stay informed about market trends and adjust your business plan accordingly to stay competitive. By validating demand through market research, now you can reduce the risk of launching a product or service that may not resonate with your target market. Next is the health of the entrepreneur or leader or the founder. So running a business can be all consuming. It is not like having 9 to 5 job. But neglecting your health can have a serious consequences. To maintain your overall well-being, you need to focus on setting boundaries. You need to separate, you need to have a proper balance, work and work-life balance, to prevent burnout. You need to take enough rest. It is understood that for initial days, the founder doesn't get enough time to take adequate rest, but you will have to. Otherwise, your startup will run, but if you fall sick, then there is no point. Your startup and you both should run successfully. So you should need to prioritize sleep. You need to take breaks in between work to recharge and maintain your physical and mental health. You need to take time off regularly schedule time to run, to away from your work, to relax, go for vacation. You need to introspect, you need to reflect on yourself, and you need to rejuvenate yourself for more work so that you can work harder. And you need to take self-care. You need to make time for activities that promote mental and physical well-being, such as exercise, meditation, or spending time with your loved ones. Or you can spend times with your hobbies. You can read books. So thus you'll be better equipped to manage the demands of entrepreneurship and maintain the energy and focus needed to drive your business forward. Uh, then the challenge comes from the unrealistic expectations. So startups often face the challenge of maintaining expectations. To avoid common pitfalls, focus on the uh, achievable goals, set achievable goals, prioritize sustainability, uh, focus on sustainable growth and development rather than chasing unrealistic expectations. Manage resource effectively, allocate resource wisely, avoid overspending, avoid overlapping or overburdening of employees, and maintain a financial discipline. Make informed financial discipline, avoid unwise debts, and ensuring long-term viability. And then financial management, that we have just discussed that you need to have a proper financial discipline. You need to understand costs. You need to understand pricing strategies. You need to understand cash flow forecasting, create a detailed cash flow forecast to predict sales, profit and loss, and make informed financial decisions. And financial monitoring, regularly review and adjust your financial plan to ensure you are on track to meet your goals. And most crucial challenge is the hiring the right people. To find the best fit, focus on defining your values. To clearly articulate your company's values and culture to attract like-minded candidates. You need to look beyond salary. Consider candidates who may not require high pay but bring valuable skills, experience, and passion to your team. Assess fit. Evaluate candidates based on their skills, experience, and fit with your company's culture and values, and invest time in them. Take the time to find out the right person. Don't do hurry that now I need people, so let me take some people and then you regret. No, take time to do proper analysis and find out the right person, even it takes longer than expected. And thus, by prioritizing finding the right people, you can build a strong team that shares your vision and drives your startup success. Launching a business without, next comes the planning failure, the importance of planning. So, what happens is launching a business sometimes is always very exciting, but without a solid plan or proper plan can lead to costly mistakes and missed opportunities. To ensure success, focus on creating a detailed business plan, outline your business strategy, goals, tactics for marketing, staffing, finance, and sales. Regularly review and do adjustment uh, and reflect on the changes in the market industry or your business. Anticipate challenges, identify potential challenges, and develop contingency plans to mitigate risks. If something happens, if some challenging situation comes, then what will I do? What is my backup plan? You need to be ready with this. And you need to set achievable milestone. Now now you're just starting a business. Now you're thinking that within 5 years I'll become, or within 1 year I'll become an unicorn. That is not possible. That is not achievable. Unnecessarily you will put pressure on yourself and will not be able to achieve and will get demotivated. So you set achievable goals. You can talk to the venture capitalists, you talk to the experts, you can talk to your mentors. What can be my achievable goals, in what can be the goals in 1 year, target 1 year, 2 years, then 5 years, and set your goals, set your achievable milestones. Next comes knowledge and skill gaps. As a first-time entrepreneur, identifying and addressing knowledge and skill gaps is crucial. To overcome these gaps, focus on industry insights, learn about your industry, including trends, challenges, and best practices. Uh, Understand customer need, develop an understanding of your target customers, including their needs and preference. Do analysis of your competitors' move properly. Focus on skill development, focus on critical areas such as finance, marketing, and sales, and seek out resources to improve your skills and your knowledge. It is not being a founder. I am founder and I am hiring the people for the respective job, and I don't know anything. That should not be. Maybe they are helping you in your job, but you should have a knowledge. Maybe you will not have a knowledge like an SD consultant, or maybe uh, and like legal advisor, but you should have a knowledge of everything, that no one can fool you, or you can understand what is going on in your company, what your people are doing. And networking and mentorship, connect with experienced entrepreneurs, attend events. There are so many events takes place, like TEI. There is an event they always organize for the startup, for the entrepreneurs. So you need to attend those events. There will be able to interact with so many people who are the founder of startups, for the entrepreneurs. people from your same field will, when you interact with them, you will get to know so many things. This attending these events and conferences are very important. Maybe it will take maybe 3,000, or you'll have to spend 3,000 or 4,000 rupees, but these events or these conferences are very very helpful. You need to join business groups to gain valuable insights and guidance. And then comes marketing. Effective marketing strategies are very important. To avoid wasting resources on ineffective marketing, focus on defining your target audience, understand who your customers are, what their need and how they prefer to be reached. Create a tailored marketing strategy, customized marketing strategy, because you cannot just simply follow the marketing strategy the other competitors, other organizations are doing. You just cannot follow those marketing strategies blindly. You'll have to customize the marketing strategies. Okay, you can take some tips or some information from them, but you will have to develop a strategy that aligns with your business goals and target audience, using channels that deliver measurable results. You need to track and measure performance, monitor your marketing efforts effectiveness, and adjusting your strategy based on data driven insights. Always go on data. Your running your business should be always on data driven. You just cannot do your business on assumption that okay, it might, I think it is going like this, I think the sale is happening like this, I think I assume that marketing team are working like this. This is not going to work. You have to have proper exact data always ready in your hand to understand what is happening in your company, how your employees are doing, what are the teams, marketing teams, HR teams, sales teams, technical teams are doing. This data should always be ready with you, and you have to focus on ROI. Uh, you have to focus on the marketing initiative that generate a positive return on investment or ROI, maximizing your marketing budgets and impact. And the next comes one of the most important, time management and productivity. As a startup founder, effective time management is the key to success. To stay focused and productive, prioritize tasks, identify critical tasks, divide the tasks on priority basis. Don't consume your valuable time with the non-important task. Do those things which will drive progress towards your goal. You need to, for that you need to create a schedule. You need to plan your weeks. You need a proper planning of the day, your meetings and everything. You need to reflect and adjust. You need to set aside time each week to reflect on progress. After every week or after every month or after every 15 days, you need to uh, work on your progress and minimize distractions. Stay focused on high priority tasks and minimize distraction and maximize productivity. Focus on those stuff only which is important for your business growth. Don't waste your time which is not relevant, not important for your business growth. And by managing your time effectively, you'll be able to wear multiple hats without getting overwhelmed, burnt out, and you will be able to drive progress and achieve your startup goals. Next is non-supportive co-founders. Uh, the having supportive co-founders is very important, because when starting a business, um, we need support from our people. So if you, when you are struggling with your startup, with marketing, sales and everything, then if your founders, if you find that your founders means your co-founders, the people you are doing business with, are not doing business honestly with you, or not following the agreements, or not cooperating with you, then it becomes, the situation becomes very difficult, and this happens quite often. So to ensure success, or to ensure that this doesn't happen. You should share work ethics, partner with the co-founders who share your vision, your work ethics. Before making someone your business partner, talk to many people, interact with many people. When you're interacting with many people, then you automatically will understand the pulse of that person, whether he is equal minded, whether that person share your vision, your work ethics. You will understand. um, Find co-founders with skills that complement yours, allowing you to divide tasks effectively. Like, you know something, that person also know the exact thing, and the other thing you don't know, and that person also doesn't know. That is of no use. Like, if there are two tasks you have to do, or like 50-50, you need to handle 50%, that person need to be capable of handling the other 50%. That kind of adjustment is, or complementary skills is required. You need to establish clear expectations and roles to avoid confusion and overlapping work. Hold each other accountable for meeting goals and deadlines. If you found if you find that your co-founders are not pulling their weight, they are not doing their work properly, they are creating hindrance in your growth, then it's time for you to reassess the partnership and consider bringing in new talent, or adjusting roles and saying them goodbye. So now we will discuss the opportunities of startup, the opportunities of entrepreneurs that they have in India. India's developing economy and large population present numerous opportunities for entrepreneurs. The key sectors with potential include tourism, energy and sustainability, like renewable energy, sustainable development creates opportunity for innovative startups. Then automobile and manufacturing, textiles and handicrafts. It is India's rich textile heritage and skilled workforce offer opportunities for startups in fashion, textiles and handicrafts. Waste management and recycling, um, health and wellness. India's large population and growing healthcare needs make the health sector an attractive opportunity for the startups. Then organic farming and food products. It creates opportunities for startup in this sector. Then education and training. India's large youth population and growing demand for quality education make the education sector an attractive opportunity for entrepreneurs. The key factors driving India's startup ecosystem are demographic advantage. India's unique demographic advantage include large youth population. That population is a driver for innovation, workforce, and talent. Growing middle class creates opportunities for startups in consumer-facing sectors. And connectivity and mobile penetration. India's telecom industry has nearly 100 crores subscribers, making mobile connectivity a key enabler for startups. So just now we have discussed that connectivity with nearly 100 crores telecom subscribers. Mobile connectivity has reached both rural and urban areas, enabling widespread access to digital services and opportunities. Then changing mindset of people. The changing mindset of Indian working class, with many high profile executives quitting their jobs. These days we hear about so many high profile people, they are quitting high profile jobs to start or work for startups, or they are starting their own startups or working in a startup, creating a favorable environment for entrepreneurship. India's innovation society, driven by its young population, presents opportunities for startups to solve a variety of problems and create innovative solutions. The country's challenges in education, health, and infrastructure also present opportunities for startups to develop innovative solutions and to make a meaningful impact. Okay, so we have discussed about how to begin your startup, how to launch your business, step by step guide, how to be ethical, what are the benefits of staying ethical, the legal aspects, what is the benefit of staying legally compliant in every aspect of the business, then the challenges of starting a startup and running a startup and the solutions, then the opportunities of starting and running startups in India. So this more or less covered the today's topic. Now we will learn some startup terminologies. Like whether you want to launch your own company, invest in up and coming business, or work at an innovative startup, you must first learn how to communicate in the world of entrepreneurs and venture capitalists. So there's a lot of startup terms that you need to know. Otherwise, if people are talking to you with this and using these terms, then you'll not be able to understand. So you need to know this. So there are so many. I think there will not be enough time to go on discussing about all the terms. So I'm just covering few important. Um, Accelerator, it's very important. Like these are startup founders often turn to organization. Accelerator actually are the organization that help and support the startup founders to grow in their growth. They give all kind of consultancy, suggestions, support. Acquisition is the process of purchasing a business which often results in a company merging. Angel investor is an individual who provides financial support to a startup at a very early stage. For instance, give capital essentially in the personal money. Bootstrapping we have already learned, it is self-financing. Burn rate, this rate shows how quickly a company is spending the money that forms its initial capital. You'll have to be very careful to reduce your burn rate. If you are self-financed, whether you are self-financed or you have taken loans from banks or investors, you cannot spend money unmindfully. Every penny is costly, and you have to spend wisely, thoughtfully. Capital we know, equity, the shares that a company or startup issues are referred to as equity. Exit policy we have already learned. Premium is a pricing strategy that offers an access to the part of the product at no cost. GTM or go to market strategy is a company's plan that indicates how they will win their target customers and promote the created product after release. Growth hacking refers to a combination of startup growth strategies aimed at driving quick and effective business and product growth. Incubator is a program for early stage startups that assists founders as they take their first steps. Key performance indicators are evaluation criteria chosen by a company to measure its progress towards achieving their goal. Lean startup is a Lean startup focus on delivering a product as quickly as possible with minimum investment. Outsource meaning obtaining a service or passing a work to a third party. If you need a work to be done, but your organization or your startup is not well equipped to produce that particular product, you can outsource to a third party. You can take that from third party and then you can assemble or install in your own company. Pitch deck is a vital startup vocabulary every founder should know. It is also referred to as a deck, is a presentation of the startup. It is generally used to get financial support or to attract the investor. PMA for product market fit. is the best ideas might not receive the expected acceptance. So lack of market need is one of the top reason explaining the high startup failure rate. So if it is very important to do your research and find product market fit. You have an idea, you have funds, but that is not enough to launch your business. You first need to understand whether your idea is market fit or not. There is a demand for your product. I'm skipping this. Return of investment with the ratio of company's net income to investment with subtracted expenses. Scaling is the company's potential for growth and expansion. It's a scalability. Seed funding is the funding for a startup when it is at the seedling stage, inception, ideation, or the beginning stage, but means seed stage. Stockholder is the shareholder, someone who possesses company's shares. And then unicorn company is the term used for in the venture capital industry to describe a startup company with a value of over 1 billion. The term was first coined by the venture capitalist Aileen Lee in 2013. A value proposition includes the unique selling points that a product offers. It explains what makes your product unique and different from other, how it's going to solve an existing problem. And this is what makes a product or feature attractive to potential customers, giving them a reason to choose your product. Venture capital is means the company which help the companies gives mentorship to the startups at the early stage of their business. There are some government schemes for startups India, like Startup India Initiative, Startup India Seed Fund schemes, credit guarantee schemes for startup. I'm not going into detail. You can search also. Auto Innovation Mission, Software Technology Parks of India. This is, with over 58,000 startups benefiting from Startup in India initiative, it has demonstratively created an estimated 1.75 lakhs jobs, showcasing its impact. Now we will discuss about some startup success stories to make you motivated. The number of DPIIT means Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. DPIIT recognized startups has grown from around 500 in 2016 to 1,59,157 as of January 15, 2025. And city-wise, Bangalore is widely considered the best city for startups in India. According to the Hurun report, the food delivery platform Swiggy and fantasy sports focused Dream 11 are the most valuable unicorns from India. They are valued at 8 billion. Uh, excuse me. Yeah. ঠিক আছে তাহলে আমি শেষ করে দিচ্ছি আমি শেষ করে দিচ্ছি হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ তাহলে শেষ করে দিই কারণ আমার তো মানে একটা বেজে গেছে মানে ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে আমি থ্যাংক ইউ বলে দিচ্ছি So, okay, we are running out of time. So, I'm ending here. So these are some startup success stories: Ola Cabs, Nykaa, Crade, Swiggy, Dream11, Razorpay. And there are some frequently asked questions. We're not going into details of it. These are the reference work that I have done. Thank you. Hello. হ্যাঁ আমি থ্যাংক ইউ বলে শেষ করে দিয়েছি। ঠিক আছে, নো ইস্যু, নো প্রবলেম। তাহলে আমি কি মানে এক্সিট করে যাব? হ্যাঁ, হ্যাঁ। মানে অ্যাকচুয়ালি আমার বাচ্চাকে ছেড়ে দিতে হবে স্কুল থেকে। আমি এক্সিট করে যাচ্ছি।